Hi creative friends, this is Saraya and thank you so much for being here. So I just wanted to show you guys this. I'm not going to be working on it today and I'm going to tell you why in a minute, but I wanted to bring it up closer and just show you the beautiful things that are going on because I allowed things to dry naturally. And there is a lot of this that I am really, really loving, but I am also getting really frustrated because I moved my eyes down and that changed the whole face. Because I have mentioned this before, and it doesn't matter whether you're doing a portrait, a still life, a landscape, whatever it is. When you change one thing on your page, everything changes. And that one thing could be a color, it could be a value, it could be me moving the eyes down. It's just like everything on your page are pieces of a puzzle. And so if you move or change one thing, it changes the entirety of it. So I'm feeling like no matter what I would do to this, I'm not going to get it right because I am frustrated. And whenever I feel like I'm fighting with the page, like, oh my God, that feeling, that's a really good indication for me to leave it alone. So I'm just going to leave this alone. I do love a lot of what is going on, but I'm not happy with the way the facial features are placed. So I am going to move this off. And I just wanted to show you a few other things that I have been working on, just doing some kind of like playing around and working out my facial planes. So this over here, I just used a few different values, and also I changed the temperature of those values depending on the facial planes. And I'm not going to go in depth about this right now in this video. This would require its own video, but I'm really loving the sculptural quality of it. But this, if you do an exercise like this, it's just going to give you a really good understanding of the way the face is structured, like the parts that are flat, the parts that, are going to be your pull, the parts that are going to be your push. And this is a really great exercise. And then I did a similar thing over here using just, I think it was sepia and maybe a titanium white. I think those were the only two colors I used. And I did the same thing over here, which is just kind of like mapping out my values and the facial planes. So what I'm going to do today is I am just going to make a background. Now I did make a video about this, and there's so much about this that I love, the colors, etc. But this particular journal is kind of like an abstract-y kind of a thing, and I am just working on my backgrounds, as you can see here. And then I had all these blank pages, so I decided to do these videos, but I'm gonna paint over it, and I knew that from the onset. So I'm not going to completely paint over it. I am going to keep parts of it, and I think that this is a really good video to illustrate how when we get frustrated with something, like I did with my portrait over here, it's a good like that's a good indication to say, hey, I'm just gonna step away from it for a minute. And then I think it's also a another video that's also gonna show how I'm gonna take something that's existing and I'm gonna incorporate it into a looser background. So because I am looking at a lot of this as abstract, I'm not looking at it as a face, I am going to keep a lot of the parts that I really love. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to go with a very loosey-goosey kind of a feel here. And right away, like my whole demeanor has changed. Like when I look at that portrait that I just showed you, I just get really frustrated and anxious. But like looking at this now, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna just play and just have fun. Like my whole demeanor is just like, oh, okay. And that's where I want to be when I'm painting, and that's whether I'm painting a portrait or anything. I just want to be more in a state of curiosity and playfulness and beginner's mind, rather than, oh my God, I'm so anxious, like I'm just, stressing about what to do. That's never a good, that's not going to go well for me. So anyways, I am really loving like so much of this. I even love these grays over here. So I'm just going to incorporate it into my abstract. I'm just going to kind of make some circles here, and I think I'm going to make another circle over here, and maybe like add a little bit of a different shape here. And then what I'm going to do, because I want this to be like one background, is I'm just going to kind of make some random circles here. And I'm going to try to mimic some of the colors that I've used here, but I'm also going to kind of, you know, just use what I think is going to work. Plus, I don't remember like exactly the colors I use. Like, I can pick out my Luminous Opera over there and maybe like a specific blue, but the rest of the stuff I don't really know. So a good thing to do now is just to lay down some collage. And like this, you know, this is just like a, I'm just making backgrounds. I don't know what the name of this art journal is going to be. I don't know what the context is going to be. So I'm just making backgrounds and just playing around, having fun, experimenting. And when I feel like I am ready to get back to that portrait, I will come back to it. And that could be, you know, a couple of days, it could be a week, it could be a month. I don't really kind of stress out about it. So if you needed permission to just leave something alone when it's like really frustrating, then, you know, take this as your sign to just kind of just, you know, put it away. And another thing too is when you put something away and you leave it alone for a while, even overnight, you get a different perspective when you come back, and that makes all the difference. I do that all the time, not just when I'm frustrated, actually. And that's why I love working on multiple projects at one time as well. Like, there's so many good reasons for doing that, by the way. But one of the reasons is that, yeah, it gives me a really great perspective. I'm not so like, you know, kind of like, just like all so close to it, you know? So I'm gonna layer, oh, I don't know if I want to layer the tea bag over top of that collage because that paper is so pretty. I don't know. I'm gonna retain that paper for right now, and I'm gonna put the tea bag over here. So the great thing about mixed media, you guys, is that you can just keep on adding layers and layers and layers. Like, I will actually journal, like write my morning pages or whatever. I will do all of that stuff on some of my really high quality, expensive art journals. And then I'll just incorporate it into my art. Like, that's a great, I love that about mixed media. Like, there's just no rules, you know? It's just like, just do whatever. And it all adds to the quality of your page. You're not like faced with this blank white page. It's just adding depth and texture. It's adding interest, luminosity. It's just, oh my God, I just love that about mixed media. Like, you know, it's just anything goes. And you never know the way things are gonna turn out. Now I do have orange here and I don't have it here. I think this was the color that I used over here that I'm really loving, but I don't know if it is or not, but we'll see. Because I do want this to read as a cohesive page. You know, whatever I decide to put on top of the page, you know, whether it's going to be like a journal about whatever, I want it to read as one whole. So I do kind of want there to be some consistency. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start adding some of the colors that I put here onto this page, and that way it can just kind of, you know, carry over. Ooh, now that is a beautiful color right there. And I'm just playing, you guys. I'm just, as you can see, I'm just playing. I'm just having fun. I'm just not really, you know, I'm not stressing out about it. add some of my chalk paint here. Now, I do want to kind of cover up her eyes because I don't want to be distracted. Like, I want this to be like a very abstract kind of a spread here. So I do want to cover up the eyes. And I find that if I cover up the eyes, it becomes more abstract. And then I'm going to like bring that in here. And just gonna now I wish I knew exactly which blue I was using here. I really love it actually, and bring it over into here, but I don't know what blue it is, so I'm just gonna go with my cobalt, which I don't think that's not the cobalt on the other side, but that's okay. You know, we're just gonna go with the flow here. And I've also been working on some fodder, you guys, but I'm kind of new to this whole concept. And from what I can understand about fodder is there are no rules. Like, I don't think there's any rules about it. I think it's just like whatever goes. Like, if you want to use junk mail, if you want to use your old pieces of art, if you want to use fabric even, if you want to use, I mean, I just think it's anything. Junk mail, magazines. So I'm just kind of learning about it, and I am going to make a video on it, but I feel like I'm still such a novice and I'm still trying to figure it out myself that I just want to be more certain of what I'm doing rather than me make a video and be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna keep that. I love this tea bag texture that is on the hair there, so I'm gonna keep that. And I'm gonna start to kind of, ooh, I love that now. I love that. So I'm just trying to, you know, kind of like obliterate some of these facial features here. Ooh, I do like that. Now I am going to bring some of these worms onto here, you guys, because I do want it to be like somewhat cohesive. I mean, I'm going to work on it, you know. It's not going to stay like this, but at this point, this page looks too different from this page, so I need to kind of, you know, just bring some stuff in here. Uh-oh, that's Maxie and Piper. If you can hear that barking, they're probably barking at some squirrels, maybe. I don't know. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some collage here. So you guys, I don't know if you allow your stuff to dry naturally or if you use a heating tool, but if you do use a heating tool, I would just recommend that you allow things to dry naturally, like one time, and compare the two and just see how much difference there is when you allow things to dry naturally. It's just like your color fields just end up so luscious and rich. It really does make a difference. So I am going to kind of go like this. Now I am going to put some of my tea bag on this page here. Ooh. Now this is looking like a juicy mess here. And you know what, you guys, when this dries, I don't know yet, I may come in and do a portrait, but I don't know, like I think this journal is going to be very abstract. That's just my feeling. So I don't know if I'm going to do one of my 100-day portraits on here. I'm not sure. I might start thinking about what I want to turn this journal into. Sometimes it comes to me like my Healing Ancestral Trauma art journal, but sometimes I have to really think about it and brainstorm. And I think that with this journal, that's what I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to have to like really kind of brainstorm and like write about it, journal about it, and just, you know, figure out like where does it want to go. Okay, you guys, I am going to allow this to completely dry, and then I'm going to come back and work on it some more. And if you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!